Honduran Foreign Minister Eduardo Enrique Reina is traveling to China to promote diplomatic ties between the two countries. Now, the move signals the Central American nation is switching sides and officially ending its decades-long relationship with Taiwan. And that's because Beijing's One China principle states that no country can maintain official diplomatic relations with both China and Taiwan. Taiwan's foreign ministry has expressed its strong dissatisfaction over the visit, accusing Honduras of ignoring more than 80 years of friendship. Taipei says it has recalled its ambassador to Honduras. Financial support is believed to be the main driver of the change in allegiance to China. It's been reported that Honduras had demanded more aid from Taipei.
对方有跟我们提出高价的这个索求。那由于我们不跟中国进行金钱外交，所以现在已经进入了一个非常辛苦的一个阶段。但是在这边，我们驻洪都拉斯的所有的管处的同仁都还在做努力当中，我们会努力到最后一刻。
Meanwhile, Beijing has welcomed Honduras's decision. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin says China is ready to establish ties with a Central American nation.
Oh, lots to cover with CNA's Olivia Xiong, who joins us live from Beijing. Olivia, first, let's look back to those tensions ramping up in the South China Sea. China so far responding with just warnings to the U.S. and other countries in that region. Could it go further?
Well, we do know that tensions are certainly high in these disputed waters, and that China said that it deployed air and sea forces to track this U.S. warship, which it said had illegally entered Chinese territory. The U.S., of course, denying this, saying that it was carrying out routine operations, adding that it will continue to operate wherever international law allows. And that's where the trouble lies. For China, it has been angered by this, angered by what the U.S. says are its freedom of navigation operations through the years. Observers say the concern is perhaps not so much that both sides want to engage in some sort of direct confrontation, but the concern is that with these incidents, it increases the chance of a miscalculation happening at sea. But when asked whether it was concerned about this, China's foreign ministry, however, said that it was operating in accordance with the law.
中国人民解放军南部战区依法进行跟踪监视，并予以警告驱离。美方应当立即停止此类侵权挑衅行动。中方将继续采取一切必要措施，坚定捍卫国家主权和安全，维护南海和平稳定。
This also comes as Chinese and Philippines officials have been engaging in talks about what they say are bilateral relations. And in the Chinese official readout of the meeting, there was no explicit mention of the South China Sea. But according to reports, we heard that the Chinese officials had expressed their dissatisfaction over the increased U.S. military presence in the Philippines. This given that it would grant them greater access to areas near the South China Sea as well as Taiwan. We will see how this continues to develop as Philippines and China continue talks specifically about the South China Sea tomorrow.
All right, Olivia, tensions also with Taiwan, although in this instance, the tensions more likely emitting from the Taiwan side, as is possibly looking to lose yet another valuable diplomatic ally. What can you tell us about the Honduran foreign minister's visit to China?
Well, we haven't heard a whole lot yet about the Honduras foreign minister's visit to China. The foreign ministry here in Beijing saying that, however, it welcomes the positive statement of the Honduran government and that it was willing to establish ties with the country. We know that there are just 14 countries now that still have diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Beijing over the years working to whittle down that number, but also Beijing hitting back and accusations that it was somehow involved in getting Honduras to switch its diplomatic allegiance. This given that there had been reports that Honduras had asked Taiwan for $2.5 billion worth of aid before then announcing that it was keen to switch its diplomatic ties from Taiwan to Beijing. This also comes as the foreign ministry, when asked about this, called this an absurd and purely fabricated statement, saying that Honduras wanting to establish ties with Beijing was something that it had based on its own situation. This also coming amid tensions that China is facing with the U.S. over Taiwan ahead of that planned meeting by Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen to the U.S., in which she is likely to meet U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, which has angered Beijing as well. The Chinese Foreign Ministry there saying that it is doing its utmost to strive for peaceful reunification, even as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says that he agrees that China will have the ability to invade Taiwan by 2027. China again reiterating that it does not renounce the use of force if it has to take the island, take control of the island in that way. Also calling on the U.S. to stop meddling in Taiwan's affairs, which it considers its internal affairs, and it says to stop creating new areas of tension over the South Island.
Oh, thanks for that. CNA's Liv Ishong reporting live from Beijing.